Hey everyone, welcome to Stuff I Never Learned from a School Book. It is 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 2 out in Hawaii, 6 a.m. tomorrow out in Indonesia, and about 9 a.m. out in Australia. Welcome everybody to Stuff I Never Learned from a School Book. If you're looking at me, the bearded one, it must be Monday night, and my name is Tom Springer, and I am the host. Thank you everyone for showing up. If you are new here, welcome to the show. If you are a repeat offender, also known as family, thank you for coming back. Tonight is literally just me. I'm doing an open mic night. So if you have questions, feel free to type them into the chat. I already have one that I'm going to be talking about right off the bat. I had Primal reach out to me and send me an email. And I'm Primal, I don't know if you want me to share the email with everybody, if you just want to kind of if you want me just to give you the answers specifically. So you let me know what you want me to do here, and I'll, if you want me to read it, I'll go ahead and read it really quick. If not, I will just talk about it and kind of give a synopsis of what your text was. So hopefully everyone had a good weekend and everything else and all that wonderful stuff. And those that are getting hammered by the snow and the weather, hopefully you're all staying safe and warm. We're okay here in Nebraska. We got just little smatterings of snow. It was cold for a couple of days to where it dropped below zero. Wind chill factor took us to about 10 under. So yeah, we had a little bit of coldness, but not really the heavy snow that a lot of people are getting. In fact, this upcoming weekend is supposed to be good enough that I scheduled the tea time to go golf on Sunday, because we're supposed to be about 52 here, and whatever little snow we have should be gone by that time. So that's kind of where we are right now. I'm going to give it more time while people come in and start rolling in, since I am on time. Go figure. I don't have a guest to worry about, so I know I wasn't going to be late. Okay, so Primal answered me back and said, do whatever I like. So basically, I'm just going to cover a quick synopsis. She sent me a message through the Gmail, which is actually scrolling on the bottom. Everything of mine is scrolling on the bottom. It's kind of weird not to have someone else's stuff. But basically, she sent me a synopsis, and it talked about when she was younger, a friend of hers, I believe it was a friend. Let me jump out there really quick. I'm going to do a quick research on it again. I just read it, so that's why I was moving a little late. Yep. So partner from grade school, high school, everything else along the way, has been experiencing what almost seems like abduction attempts, and they had an issue where when they were younger, at the home, they can see lights across the field, and their father went out to go check out the lights and everything else out in the field and see what they were, but they couldn't explain what they were. Fast forward a little bit to high school, and the person was laying in bed and heard this loud crack, and then had like the static feeling, and started getting cold up to about halfway up their legs. And then the person focused on it and like tried pushing it away, so it got pushed away. Second time the thing appeared, or showed itself, or however you want to say it, made itself present. It went up to about the thighs, and it was a very cold presence. And excuse me. And I got a hair. Pushed it away, made it go away, everything else. And the third time it came up to about the chest and felt like they were getting pulled off the bed. The only thing really left on the bed was just the head. Everything else is actually hovering in the air. So when it's fought off, the person went down, because the thing went away, the person fell down, and it hasn't happened again. So Primal reached out to me saying, hey, is there any way that you might be able to identify what this is, what's going on, what do they want, anything along those lines. First off, hi, Kathy. How are you? Glad you're here. So Primal reached out to me, and she's like, okay, so can you answer me some questions about this. And so I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. Um, the incidents of what was seen when the person was younger and what happened in the room are related. They are. It was almost like a search party, trying to identify the best quote unquote candidate, um, and just bided their time. They can do that. They don't have a lifespan like we do, so it's a little different. Um, the one of the I'm kind of skipping questions because one of them is, does it follow the lineage? It follows. I'm getting. So what it was, this one I had to fight with the most, and it leads to the lineage part. What it was, and what I'm hearing and what I'm getting is it was the Nordics or it was the tall whites, which are the same thing. Normally benevolent creatures, benevolent in being, also known as the Space Brothers, but not harmful. We're actually trying to reach out to your friend because of the relation in some way, shape, or form. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I don't know what it is about the relation, but there is a relationship between them. And I almost want to say this followed over from a past life. It was the friend was recognized from a past life to where they had contact with the tall whites or the Nordic people before in another life, and that's, I think your friend was afraid of it or afraid of them, not realizing that they've already associated before in the past. So I think that's where that came from, and I think just the persistent pushing it away, saying no, I don't want to go with you. I don't know what you are. I don't know who you are. I think that just finally made them give up. Now, I believe that if you share this with your friend and tell them what I'm telling you, and they want to make contact back, they can. Um, but as of now, the contact is cut off. They will not try again. Not without your friend instigating the connection again. Other than that separation has happened. So that's what I got from that. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you a little more insight and helps your friend, your partner decide how they want to go forward with this, how they want to deal with it, anything else along those lines. So that's our first one. I'm really here just to kind of answer your all's questions. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. I know we're still kind of early into it, and I'm fine with that. There's not many people watching right now, which is okay. I know normally we pick up at about the 15-20 minute mark, so I'll stay on and just blah blah for a while. In the meantime, I do have a lot of traveling coming up, starting in March. Excuse me. It's been a long day. Starting in March, I'm traveling mostly in country, but I do have one overseas. I'll be traveling to England again, beginning of April, so that'll be a good one. That'll be fun. It's just a long flight over there and a long flight back, but the layovers aren't that great either. One's like a 5.5 hour layover, one's like a 4.5 hour layover. So they're just long flights and long times, but that's okay. Hello, Miss Gwen. How are you today? Gwen's popping in to say hello. Gwen, it's just open mic night, so if you have questions, you shoot them out there, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Like I said, I know it's still a little early, so there's not a lot of people on here, so I'll just wait patiently. Give it to about a half an hour, and if we're not rolling, then I'll just kind of shut it down. It seems like I always threaten to shut it down at about the half-hour mark, and I end up going for like an hour, hour and a half. So we'll see how tonight goes. Some people probably still don't have power. I have been having more. Thanks, Gwen. Gwen says saying hi. That's right. She says saying hi. She's also doing a show herself. So much love back to you, lady. She is actually one of them I get to go out and see when I go to one of my locations in March, because I'll be by her area. So I'm going to try to connect up with her and try to do an investigation somewhere, see what we can find out, and see what we can rile up, do all that wonderful stuff. So also there are some changes coming to my show. I guess I should talk about those too, since I'm the only one on here right now and I don't have any questions. The show is still going to exist. It's still going to be Stuff I Never Learned, but it's going to be more along me doing this more often than having guests on all the time, because you can only ask so many guests so many things so many times, and it seems like we've kind of stagnated, and a lot of people are seeing the same people on the same show. So I'm going to attempt to step out there, and I'm going to attempt to do this part more often than not. And I still will have guests on later on, every so often, but I'm not going to do it every week like I am now. So, so that's what's coming up down the road. That's not till March. Actually, it's probably not going to be till April, because I have shows scheduled right now until the end of. Sorry, you're hearing a lot of sounds, so I got to turn stuff off. But I have guests all the way through the end of February, so I'm gonna honor those and continue to do those to the end of February like this. But then beginning in March, possibly April, I may be doing more of this, of just one on me out here blabbing about anything and everything that you guys want to talk about. Kathy's asking me if I foresee a Carrington event happening in the near future with these crazy solar flares. I want to say yes. The solar flares right now are more extreme and more constant than what we're used to. So I think it could cause something like a Carrington event to happen. And it's just, I don't see a way that it couldn't happen without, something's got to give. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a Carrington event or what it's going to be that's going to cause the problem. But something is going to happen. I'm sorry, I'm listening at the same time. And for anyone who's asking what a Carrington event was, back in 1859, Richard Carrington actually recorded a large solar flare output that actually caused the geomagnetic storm, and it just rippled through a lot of. Today it would affect and hurt a lot more of anything than it did before, because of how much electronics and just how much stuff we have nowadays. It would definitely cause a bigger ripple effect and more damage now than it did back in 1859 when it was first discovered. That was the largest one that's ever happened, was back when it was discovered. So hopefully that answers your question. But I do see one possibly happening. Something that is not a solar flare event, but something that is causing minor havoc, is the fact that the magnetic north has shifted 88 degrees off of normal, and that actually pushes it more towards Russia, furthest point towards Russia than it's ever been before. So it actually affects it could, it hasn't yet, but it could affect like GPS and some of the other stuff that is used for planes and missiles and stuff like that. But yeah, the magnetic north has shifted, the furthest we've ever seen it in recorded history. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Don't know what that's going to affect down the road, but right now it is wreaking small havoc on anything that is trying to use magnetic north as a guiding system. Hi, Mo. Mo, my neighbor across the street, says, "What are your thoughts?" Question about Greenland. What are your thoughts on what might be hiding underneath? Underneath Greenland is really nothing. I can't say nothing. There's a lot of prehistoric, unidentified stuff that we've never even seen yet, that's going to come out from underneath Greenland, besides the mineral rights and everything else and stuff like that. There is a base that's under there, that was under there for quite some time. Whatever they find out through that base is going to be new to us because it's kind of been lost to history. And but as far as anything extraterrestrial or anything cryptid-like or anything else, I don't think that's going to happen from Greenland. If anywhere, I think it's going to happen when we get further up towards the Arctic, which is one of the reasons I actually truly think that the U.S. is so hyped on trying to get to Greenland, is because I believe they're trying to identify more stuff up in the Arctic besides just the rare minerals they're trying to identify or make claim to. I think that race is happening between the U.S., Russia, and China. And I really think that is, I mean, the reason why the U.S. is saying they want Greenland for protection, for defense, everything else, is because the Arctic passage up there is actually melting. So it makes it easier for anything to come across from us. Because if you pay attention to our military at all, our military is really set up along the West Coast for the most part, as far as protecting against Russia and everything else. If you look on our East Coast, we really don't have as robust of a naval military set up on that side. So it is a concern military wise, but I think it's going to be more than just that. I think when they start finding more of the unknown stuff in the Arctic, I think that's where the big news is going to come from. Yeah. Mo says, so we need to keep the ice. Yes, we do. The ice needs to be ice. That would be fantastic if it stayed ice. So that way no one's trying to come around us and backdoor us from the other side. That would be great. So, Primal. Question. When I was 43, there was this urge to check my hands for a sign. It turned out to be a 6-pointed star. What is the significance, if any? Thank you. Your 6-pointed star is a very unique mark. Your 6-pointed star, well, you know this. I know you know the answer. You're just wanting clarification on it or validation on it, but your 6-pointed star on your hand is actually your starseed mark, one of your starseed marks, because you have, wow, what are you, 12, 13 different types of starseed? So that is one of your marks that you identify for you as one of them from your front. Which one it is, I don't know. I want to lean more towards a lesser known, even like an Atlantean or something like that. But I think that is your significance for your 6-pointed star that was on your hand. That's what I'm hearing right away. Chris, how are you, Chris? Chris DeCesare, everybody. He is a man, a myth, a legend. Whereas I am mostly myth, he is mostly legend. So he was a fantastic guest that was on my show not too long ago, Ghost Boys, as he's known as. Something he did not fully want to accept, but has learned to embrace it, and now he shares his information, and it is fantastic. And as far as nature or nurture, I'm gonna have to go with nurture. 8 older sisters will do that for you. So yes, that's where that comes from. But I appreciate the comment. But you're calling the wrong person awesome, Chris. That's absolutely you. So, but I appreciate you watching. Much love as always. If you have questions, Chris, this is my open mic night for and anyone else who may be coming in. This is my open mic night. I answer questions or try to answer questions you have as best as possible. So you are more than welcome to ask questions. And I will do my best to answer them. As you see, I kind of cover a lot of everything. I've covered Greenland. I've covered Carrington effects, what's going on up in the Arctic, hands on signs on people's hands, anything else. It's really it's interesting because I come into this questioning how well am I going to do during the night, and I still question it, which is weird because I shouldn't. I fully believe in the abilities and the fact that I am hearing this information from two different things. Either I am getting guidance from spirit guide or something else out there. It could be attached to my star seeds. I'm actually part of I think 19 different star seeds. So I'm getting guidance from somewhere. Or it could just be because of how long I've lived in past lives and I've been around for literally forever. Is what I hear all the time. Since the beginning of time, I have walked on the earth in some way, shape, or form. And so I think this is where my ability to talk about kind of anything and everything comes from. Besides the fact I'm really a nerd. Don't let the mohawk and the beard fool you. I am such a nerd. Some of the things that I sit there and read to Nikki, just while I'm reading on my phone, she goes, and I know she's being polite, but this is, but she don't care. She has no care at all. Like I come up with stuff of like I said, magnetic pull and magnetic north, or the fact that they are making more information. They're making spherical solar capabilities now to where they can be round. They can pick up off of reflected energy or anything else, so they can actually pull source from light anytime at all, whether it's even partly cloud covered, it's reflecting off of a building, anything else. Japan has found this. Japan uses this. It's literally a pit in the ground. It drops like 2 miles. That might be too far. It drops really, really, really far in the ground. And they drop these. They're just these little spheres, and they're glass. And as they drop down, there's actually a point to where they can't drop at any more speed, so they actually hit a form of weightlessness. And during the weightlessness part, crystallines actually form inside, and it allows it to pull in light from absolutely any single direction possible, and then it lands softly down, and they actually gather them up at the bottom because they lower something down that will catch them, and they can bring it back up like on a crane. But yeah, it's what they do, and it's just new and exciting stuff that's coming down the line. And well, to me, it's new and exciting. To other people, here's Nikki's response: eyes glazed over. So yep, this is kind of what I get. So Primal, thank you. She said this is like breathing for you. It kind of is. It's an outlet for me to help others, and that really was the design behind everything I've done with stuff I've never learned is to help. And I think a lot of this is I'm helping because I have this knowledge and I need to share it with others. And I'm so happy that people come on to ask questions. And even if you're not asking questions, I'm still going to tell you random stuff because it's just stuff that I don't care if one person learns something and they like what they've learned. Fantastic, you've learned something, and that's the biggest part about it. Hello, Miss Kim. How are you? Kim, are you back from the rock show? Because you were out at a rock show. So are you back from the rock show out in Arizona? Kim Irwin, another fantastic person. She does a lot of amazing things. I would actually tell you to go out and search Kim Irwin out on Facebook, and then link into her site and see all the different things she does. She's really. Oh, okay. So she says, Nope, she's still out at the rock show. So fantastic. Bring me back something pretty. Um, and I say that because I I have tons of stones. I have tons of rocks. I have tons of whatever, but I don't use them for what other people use them for. At least not for myself. I wear them. I like the way they are. I like the way they feel. I like the way they look, but I don't use them to for anything. I don't use them for enhancement. I don't use them for clarity. I don't use them for readings. I don't use them for anything except for just to wear because I really like them. So there we go. Kim's Healing Corner. Go out and look up Kim's Healing Corner and see everything she does because everything she does is literally magical. Not just figuratively, but figuratively, blah, 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 slower in English, not figuratively, but literally magical. So, yes, go out and check her out. Wonderful person, just a wonderful overall human being. Nikki and I will be going back to Mystic Fest if anyone's in the local area, which for me is I'm in Omaha, well, close to Omaha, Nebraska. That's the biggest city next to me. But we will be going back over across the water, across the river, back over to Council Bluffs, which is like 25 minutes from us, to do Mystic Fest. I'm pretty sure. So when we go to Mystic Fest, I'll explain what Mystic Fest is to anybody. It's a lot of like a lot of the other parafests you go to, but it's a lot of readers, it's a lot of tarot, it's some rune reading, it's a lot of jewelry, it's a lot. I mean, just a lot. And it turns out, I think I'm literally the only paranormal person there, which is kind of cool because I'm set up on two different things. I'm set up for stuff I never learned, the show here, but I'm also set up to represent the Paranormal Existence Research Society, or PERS, which I'm still the Midwest director of, for people who think they have something in their homes and they want some clarity on it. They want it gone. They want to know what it is. They want to know if there is something. And we'll go out there for free and help them identify what it possibly is. Or it won't be a possible. We'll tell you what it is. And the good news is I don't have to do this by myself. Even though Nikki and I are the two representatives out here in the Midwest, there's a huge team behind us worldwide. The bulk of it is out in Florida. That's where Bill Slevin, if you know who Bill Slevin is, he's my director, the overall director of all the PERS. But PERS is worldwide. They're out in Italy. They're out in the UK. I think they're out in Australia, and then all over the United States. So they kind of go everywhere. But it's really nice because I am not supposed to do readings when I'm there because there are readers who are there to make money. That is their livelihood. That's what they do. Kim's actually one of those who goes out there and she does a form of reading, and it's fantastic. But we have toe readers. You guys have seen Margaret on the show. We have rune readers. You've seen Brecky come on the show. There's all these different people who go out there and they do all these different types of readings, tarot, whatever else. So I'm not supposed to do readings because that's not what I'm signed up for. I'm signed up really as a vendor. I do sell a couple of things, but they're really just for protection. If you're going to go investigate, or if you're feeling like you need something for protection, I actually have items that I have purchased and that I've had blessed from Father Torres, who was actually on my show not too long ago, but he does not do podcasts anymore. He has completely given himself over completely to his religion, which is fantastic. I support him 110%. But the good news is that he still supports me too in blessing the items that I sell. So they're fully blessed. And that way people can have them with them when they go on investigations, or if they just need something to hold with them during maybe a loved one's passing or just having a rough day or something. It's just something to have for protection, and I sell those. But other than that, I really don't do any readings per se. Now I say that. Now I'm about to make myself a liar. Hold on, first I'm going to say hi to Crystal. Hi, Crystal. How are you? But I'm about to make myself a liar because people walk up to the table all the time, and they're curious. They look at the stuff that's for sale. But if they walk up to me and I just get that sense, I open when I'm there. I don't open in the house, but I am fully open when I'm there on purpose because I push my, I don't want to say I push my vibration out, but I let my vibration go because it actually draws people into the table. They're just drawn by the energy that I push out there, and they're just like, oh, that guy, let's go see the bearded one. Um, and then they'll ask questions, but through their tone or through whatever, even they may ask me a question, I'll answer it. Sometimes I do readings, but it's not like I'm not sitting down with them for half an hour giving them a full on reading. Sometimes I'm just giving them the information they need right there on that spot, or sometimes I'm just giving them something to get them to the next day, or something along those lines. So that's really how, when I go to different things like Mystic Fest, and I'm getting ready to sign up for, I'm being asked to go down to Kansas City Paracon, or KC Paracon KC. So I'll be going down to the Kansas City area if anyone's down that area, end of May. So I'll be heading out that direction as well for Friday, Saturday, and so I'll be down there. So that'll be interesting because that'll be my next step, is starting to go out and doing more convention style things or festival types of things that I don't normally do right now. I'm kind of selling myself right now because I don't have any questions coming in. But I do have to say hello to Miss Laura. Hi, Laura. You must be at work and stopping in to say hi. How are you? How is everything going with the family? I keep reading the messages, and I hope everything's going well. I'm really excited that when I keep reading about how much support you're getting with what's going on with you and your husband and everything else, that's really huge. So I'm really happy for all the support you're getting. But, if you need anything from me, spiritually, anything else, just reach out. I got you. And I'll help you as much as I can. If you hear that, that is my train that comes by every once in a while. That right there, yeah, he's just letting you know that I'm talking about it. But yes, we have a train goes by. But Laura, hello. I hope you're doing well. Hope your family's doing well. Let me know if there's anything I can do, and I will. Yeah, and Crystal's right. She's like, that's exactly what I did to her the first time she met me at Mystic Fest. Absolutely. She came up to the table, started talking, and there was something about her that just made me go, yep, stop. I need to talk to you. And we did. We had a conversation. And it's just been an ongoing thing. And now she's coming on the show to hear me blah, blah, blah about whatever I can. And if you have questions, ask, type of thing. But that's how I get the opportunity to meet people. And honestly, it's even though it seems very natural, Primal said this seems like breathing to me. It is not. Nikki calls me a perfect chameleon because I can blend into any situation. But by every meaning of the word, I am an introvert. I would much rather be by myself on a deserted island talking to Wilson than talking to people or anything else. But I force myself out there because I know that I have a gift that I need to share with others. And that's important to me. And what good is it to learn that I have these abilities if I can't share them, if I'm not willing to share them with everybody? That's just selfish in my eyes. So I make myself go out there and I make myself do this. And I really am happy that I do this because I really enjoy doing this. This does fulfill something that was in my soul contract, and it really does let me know I'm doing right by doing good for others. So little update, if you're not reading, if you can't see the message or anything else, Laura states, I'm home for the next 6 weeks. Hubby is home, going to dialysis with him 4 times a week for the next 6 weeks. So I'm happy to hear that you are able to take the time off and you're able to work with him and get him to and from. I know that was going to be a concern, how to do everything if you're going to work and also trying to get him to and from. So I'm really happy again. A support system seems to be there for you, Laura. I'm really happy to hear about that. And I hope it continues. I hope that as everything keeps going on, more outpouring keeps coming into you. You guys are fantastic, wonderful people, and you really need to be supported in the best way possible. And I truly believe that. I've known Laura for a long time, long time. Um, and it's just, I just feel that this is a turning point towards good. Um, and I that's literally, as I sat here and started talking about you, that's literally what came in. So every once in a while you hear me stop, you'll see me turn my head because I'm listening, but that one just came at me and I just was able to say it out loud. I didn't have to stop and listen to it at all. Um, so let me see if I can catch back up to where I was. Oh, so the show. The show is changing. I will probably take a month off about that because I don't like doing shows when I'm traveling, and I'm literally going to be gone, home, gone, home, gone, and then home again over a 6 week period. And so I'm not going to try to do any shows during that time. I'd rather spend the time at home with Nikki, with the family, just enjoying the home life and everything else. But that does not mean that um, I will not answer emails. I will not answer texts. I will still do all of that stuff. If you send me messages and you ask questions, I absolutely will. I just won't be doing the show for a little bit. And there's also a possibility. There's a young person who popped in earlier. Her name was Gwen Johns, and she is attempting to lure me away from my one-man band here and have me go on to their network. It's called the All Access Network. Um, I, for those who don't know, when I started back 4 years ago, I started off on a network. I left the network because it was too restricting for me. I couldn't talk for as long as I wanted to. I had to go during certain time frames, and there was a lot of restrictions that I very much appreciated being on their network. It started me off. It got me moving the direction I am now, and I greatly appreciate them for everything that they allowed me to do to get going. But at one point, we needed to move forward, and I stepped away from them and did this on my own, which is where we are now. And I don't know if I will go back to another network. There are very strong stipulations, and I know that Gwen will go back and watch this. Um, but there are very strong stipulations about what I need in order to go to a network. I don't have any problem being on my own because I'm not losing anything. Um, will I gain something by going to a network? Maybe some other followers, some other listeners. Um, but if you're supposed to find me, you'll find me, whether I'm on my own or whether I'm another group or anything else. If my voice is meant to be a voice for you to hear, you will hear it. You will find me. So I let a couple of emails go, so I'm going to, or messages. So I'm going to go back up so Kim and I have kind of had this discussion for going on probably a year now. So she says, I had this realization about you. I always thought since I've met you, the feeling was that we are supposed to do something spiritual together. But I actually just almost now realized it's not that at all. It's that we did something in the past, I think. Um, Stand by. I'm listening. Um, the actual answer to that is yes and yes. I still think you're right about us that we're meant to do something together. Now, whether it's a big project, a small project, a one-off, whatever, not the show. We already did the show, but there's something, and that's a yes. But I also do believe that we shared commonalities in a past life that you and I were together, and did have different ties in the past life to where we connected a lot. Um, Sorry, I'm listening again. Um, but it's nothing like that we would do now. It's not like a show or anything else. It was, and I don't want to say this in a demeaning way because I do not mean it, but it was much more important on a grander scale of what we did together in the past. It was um, it was nation changing, what we did in the past. It was very much tied to, for my feelings, more along the lines of the medieval timeframes where we worked together and we did stuff to actually like set armies up or take armies down or do those types of things, based off of our guidance, our spiritual guidance that we gave. So there's that. Sorry, I had to listen to that one because I had to make it clear in my head. All right, Laura. Laura states, I wanted to share something with you. Last week when hubby was at rehab and I was at home, he asked me to guess what he is having for dinner. I got a vision of a tray with stuffed cabbage, so I threw those words out there. I was on speaker. I was on speaker with him and the nurse in the room. They both got quiet, then bursted out, yes. Out of any possible foods, that was it. Um, so that's fantastic. I mean, I will let you know. So Laura, and then she asked further down, how does that happen? I will let you know how that happens. It's the same way Nikki and I connect. We are so connected, that we know. I mean, we can do this a lot. We can talk about, even though we're apart, we know what each other are doing. We know what almost like this. You know what you're having for dinner. You can tell, like you just have that sync with your partner that you're almost peering through their eyes or sensing through their feelings what's happening. It's not uncommon. It happens a lot, especially with couples, loved ones. Doesn't necessarily have to be couples, married ones. It can be family members. Nikki and her sister are like this, but but it's someone that you have a very deep heart tie to that you can do this with. It's like I said, it's not uncommon. Not everyone does it because not everyone has found someone that they have that deep tie to. That doesn't mean they won't. That doesn't mean they ever will, or they just haven't released themselves to open up to it yet. But you two have, like Nikki and I have. So that's where that lies. So that's why you're able to do that. Crystal, I think I figured out what that dream that I had a couple months ago, but I'm not completely sure. I think it may have been a past life of mine, but I've never gotten confirmation that I've realized at least on it. Okay. Here we go again. I have to listen. This is how this happens, folks. You write something, I hear it. Crystal, you're going to have another vision about this, not a dream. You're going to have another vision about this. Pay attention because you'll be able to read the numbers. The numbers are going to mean something to you. And the dream is going to happen, or the vision is going to happen within the next month. And it's going to be your confirmation of what you just said, that it ties to a past life. Because you'll be like, wow, I have done this before. And the vision is going to show you that you've done it before. And it's actually going to show you either a date or a time, maybe both. But you're going to remember it when you wake up, when you come out of the vision. And you'll be like, oh, yep, that's my confirmation. I mentioned it to Tom. This is the confirmation. I have done this before in the past. So there. All right, let's see. Kathy, what are your thoughts on Tartaria? And if you believe it, do you think they will change the history books? Tartaria, depends on how you want to pronounce it. I don't think they will change the history books. I don't. I think if it changes the history books, it's going to be something along the same lines as the Mandela effect. It's not going to be completely changed, but it's going to be slightly changed in our minds. But it's not going to be the full-on changing of history that will make people forget completely, or will make it seem completely different in one way or another. Miss Sandy's popping on. Hi, Sandy. How are you? Yep, I got. And yes, absolutely, Kim. Kim says, yes, your tribe will find you. They will. Everyone here is my family. Everyone is part of the tribe. And it's. I think by doing this the way I'm going to do it with the shift, I think by me just going on like this and just talking every other week instead of having guests on every other week, I think that will open up the opportunity for more of like-minded to find me and to be able to share messages with each other, because I'm not a one-man band. I mean, I am. I mean, Nikki's upstairs making sure my internet don't break and everything else, and I control everything down here. But I'm not a one-man band. You all hold such a huge part of what I do. So, I mean, obviously I couldn't do this without you, because I'd just be talking to myself, and I already do that enough, and I always lose that battle. So some people think I'm a little nuts. They're not too far off. But I get as much information, love, support, understanding, everything else that I give out to you guys, I get it back from you. So that's good. And I think that if I do this more on a one-on-one or a one-on-many basis, like I'm doing online, then more people will find the show and will interact with us and grow the tribe, or grow the community, or, as I call you guys, grow the family. So yes. Primal question. I'm holding keys in both of my hands energetically. What is the purpose? There's one in my womb space as well. Okay, so I'm going to start with the one in your womb space. Your womb space is actually, I know you'll understand this, some won't on here, but your womb space is going to be more tied to what's going to happen long term with your son. We've discussed it before. He's very strong. He's very, very knowledgeable, otherworldly even. But surprisingly enough, what I know you understand, but what I'm going to say, because I need to hear it in my own ears the way I say it, he still has another gear to shift in. He's not at his peak yet. So there's still that one coming up. The hands, I'm trying to find the best way to say this. It's almost like you're about to grab a sliver of space. It's going to require both your hands, which is why I'm saying it this way. A sliver of space that you're searching for an answer for. Literally, you're like going to grab that space. You're just going to rip it open. Because you ask questions that you already know answers to, but you just, although you know it, you're still looking for that final piece of confirmation. I think your hands are going to be the key to opening up that space, literally ripping that space open. And I'm literally meaning like grabbing two pieces of air, ripping it open, and seeing the stars and seeing everything else, ripping open space. And you're gonna see what's next for you. God, but you're already so strong. It might work all together. You may have to rip that space open in order for your son to make his next step. To take that next, I'm getting yeses. You're going to have to use the keys in your hands to open up that space for your son to take that next gear, to step up to the next gear. He's not done yet, but he has more to do for humanity. And you're the key to his key, if that makes sense. But I'm literally getting I see thousands of people in my background just nodding yes. So that's kind of big, because normally I can see, I see a lot of people as it is, but to see 1,000 of them all going like this, that's definitely a yes. So you guys are tied together. So yeah, So there's that. Kim answered back to what she says during the period Jesus was around. Um, that may be what I'm saying. I may be seeing the Crusades. That might be what I was seeing when I was thinking of medieval times or something along those lines. I may have been seeing Crusades or something along those lines. Laura comes back with, yes, it's so incredible. I love being this close to my husband. Absolutely, and you can, and don't be shy to test that stuff out. Um, we do it all the time on accident, like you guys just kind of did. But Nikki and I do it all the time, to where she's like, "Get out of my head, get out of my headspace." Um, so that's kind of where you guys are, and it's just fun to play with and learn about and know that it's there. Um, so Laura put this out there, and she says, "I put our first day of dialysis together on my TikTok. I hope our journey will help others in the same or similar situation. This is harder than I expected, but together we are strong." Absolutely. And again, I have nothing but love for both of you. I know what you're going through. Um, the interesting part is, so Laura and I have a connection from further back, but it has never died. It has never gone away. And the more we connect, she's one of the people that when I see her name pop up on the show, it puts a smile on in my heart and on my face, because when she starts putting stuff like this out there, and I started reading about her and her hubby through this journey together and everything else, I had the feeling. I mean, I could almost feel it in my heart what she's going through. And at first, I thought, well, maybe it's because I went through the cancer battle with Nikki, and luckily we're on the other side of that. But and because that takes a toll. But it's not the same feeling. I think I'm connected with Laura in a way that I can feel her anxiety as well. It's again one of those wonderful gifts I have to reach out kind of anywhere in the world to do that. But inadvertently, I think I was tapping into her anxiousness as I was reading her writings and what she was going through, and I can just feel her exhaustion, and I can feel her angst, and I can feel her like stress. But then on the flip side, everything started falling into place. The ramps were built. People came out to help and all this wonderful stuff. And now you have time off to take him to dialysis. And that switch lightened me. It made me go, okay, so here we are. Like I said, we're on the upslope. We're doing good. Things will get better. Things are getting better. And it's almost like I have that little piece in me that feels what you're doing, what you and your hubby are doing. So that's good. Mo, how do we unscramble our visions? I asked the universe or spirits to show me how good things or life can be. I get a crapshoot of visions. Well, write down the most prominent parts of your vision. Document them, journal them, as a lot of people say. I don't journal at all. I'm terrible about that. But luckily for me, I remember my visions and my dreams, so that's good. But you're going to unscramble them by taking the biggest parts out that you remember, or the parts that you remember, and that will start. That is going to be your storyboard. All the other stuff is just going to be noise as fillers for your visions. But take out the big parts of your visions and write them down, and you'll start seeing a pattern. You'll start seeing numerous patterns start falling in line. And unfortunately, I hate to tell you, but some of your visions are not going to be good. Your patterns are not going to be good. I can't say that. Let me put that another way. When you start seeing the patterns, you're like, man, I don't like this. Just know that you have to go through that to get to the good on the other side of it. But your largest part that you write down in your visions is what's going to start showing the pattern to you. It's going to be your storyboard. It's going to tell you where you're going, what's going to happen, what's coming next, and everything else. And that's my advice to everybody. If for some reason you can't make out your visions, or your visions seem just all over the place, you're like, what is this? And why is this one over here? Wake up, Jot down the largest parts of your visions, the parts that stick out to you the most, the ones that are like screaming at you. That's your storyboard. That's going to be what you're going to follow. That's what you're going to be looking for signs for. And that'll help move you along. Quick re-education, visions. You can see letters, words, numbers. Dreams, you cannot. Dreams, you really can't really see the faces too well. You can see them, but they're a little blurry. Visions, you can actually see the person's full-on face, and you can actually change them in visions as well. The reason why is because when you dream, you're not using your logical side of your brain. So your logical side of the brain is not allowing you to see the numbers or the words or the letters. So that's how you know the difference between a vision and a dream. Okay, let's see. Oh, hello, Miss Rosie. How are you? Hopefully she's still here. I know she's taking a lunch break to join us. So hopefully she was able to pop in and say hi. Crystal, do you have any more tips for me on opening myself up? Meditations type style that you suggested helped a little bit, but I haven't felt any difference. But for all I know, I could be holding myself back. Yes. I just have to come up with, I have to listen because this is where we're going. Focus more. This will help. For you, it will. I can't say it's going to help for everybody, but for you, this is going to help. Focus more on when you're laying down to go to sleep. That's when you start asking for opening up. That's when you're going to start going, I want to see, I want to be able to reach out. I want to start doing more. I want to start seeing more. I want to start hearing more. And you'll realize that it's actually going to, when you're doing that, do it calmly. Don't be overexcited about it, because all you're doing is kind of setting your intention that night. And while you may actually fall asleep while you're telling yourself this, while you're asking for this, while you're kind of it's another form of meditation. It's it's not really a sleep meditation, but it puts you into a state of easiness and calm to where it actually will put you to sleep. Mine does it all the time. I actually fall asleep now when I'm actually cutting cords from everyone I've connected to for the day and call my own energy back. All of a sudden I'm like, and I don't even get done connecting or disconnecting all the cords by that time. But do it when you're laying down, and just literally to yourself. I mean, you can do it in your head. Just say, like, I want to see more. I want to hear more. I want to get more in touch with spirit. I want to hear my spirit guides. I want to, and just kind of do it before you go to bed. And that's setting your intention as you go to sleep. And your subconscious will start putting all those pieces together for you, and will start helping you build a little more. Now, if for some reason you don't start opening up after that, then you're blocking yourself. But in all honesty, that should be a good push for you forward, is to do it right before you go to sleep. Sorry, I had to listen to that one. So Laura tells us, before I met my husband in person, we were on Skype. He had a cold flu and was so miserable. I told him I wish I could take that away from you. Within 10 minutes, literally, I was coughing and he was feeling better. I picked up his cold and he recovered just like that. I'll never wish that again, LOL. But this is how we have been connected since day one. Absolutely. See, there's your own confirmation. You don't need to ask me about this. You already know it. And there we go. Rosie found my book and the goals I wrote down. One of them came true, changing my job position. Perfect. Fantastic. See that? That's how this works. Yeah, Mo, sorry. Good with the bad. That's how life works. But remember, it's good with the change. Don't really look at the good with the bad. It may feel bad to you temporarily or while you're going through it, but on the other side is just more good. So, hello, Margaret. How are you? Look, it's like Beetlejuice. I said her name and she showed up. Yeah, I used your name earlier. See that? That's how that happened. Called you out. Here you are. Let's see. So Nikki says, I say that, but she sees numbers all the time. I see me teaching math, playing my games, etc. Um, no, your logical mind is working in there some form. You're not actually in a deep enough sleep to be holding true form of dreams. So so you may be in your light part of your sleep, but you're not in your dream state yet. So something else is going on. Your mind is just doing that logically in your head. Um, Mo asked Nikki, "Do you play chess in your dreams on that ceiling like that movie?" She's talking about Queen's Gambit. If you've never seen Queen's Gambit, it's actually a short story. It's a mini series. Really good, really good. If you haven't seen it, it's actually a fantastic one to watch. And Margaret, I know you're saying what? Yes, I actually called you out earlier because I was talking about people who've been on the show. And I mentioned you. I said, "Yep." I said, "I've because Kim Irwin was on here too, and I was talking about all the different types of readers and people I've had that I've met at the different festivals and all the different places." And I mentioned you. I said, "Yeah." I said, "Margaret, with the toe reading and everything else," and so I mentioned your name, and here you are asking me what. So yes, it's like Beetlejuice. I said your name and you showed up. I just didn't have to say it 3 times. So apparently I'm better at that game. Um, oh, and Nikki's answering back. She says, "I don't play chess, but I do the nanagrams, Sudoku, Kakuru, etc." So she does a lot of that kind of stuff in her head when she's just sitting around, with her face on her phone. Because, she doesn't get enough math at school, so she has to bring it with her home. That's not enough. And then she's like, "I can't get all the numbers out of my head." So I wonder why. But yeah, I mean, you guys got anything else? I mean, we're a little over an hour. I told you this was going to happen. About 20 minutes, things were going to pick up, and that's when they did. Now we've gone over an hour. We've talked about quite a few different things. We've had, as I stated, lots of squirrel moment happenings, as I wrote up, because during these sessions where it's just me doing open mic night, they're nothing but squirrel moments, as far as I'm concerned, because I will go off on tangents on so many different things, besides the question that was asked, that it just leads us all through all kinds of different places. But I'll kind of catch everyone back up again. My show will not be ending, but it will be taking a hiatus at the end of February, and it will go more of this style to where it's just me talking. I will still have guests on, but that will be kind of more the flip. Like right now, I only do open mic night like once every quarter or so, and then I have guests come on all the other times. I'm looking at flipping that. I may not do it as often. I may do like 3 or 4 open mic nights and then a guest type of thing. But I feel like it's time for more like-minded people who may need to hear what not only myself, but what all of you family have to say. It's gonna, I think it's gonna be a better turn in doing it that way. If not, then it's just a lesson I'll learn. It won't be anything bad. It'll just be a lesson I learned. But I think for some reason I'm being drawn to do more of the individual one-on-one type things like this, to just let everyone ask questions on the side and I'll answer what I can. I don't want it to sound selfish because I'm not doing it in a selfish way. I do not get monetized. I don't plan on getting monetized. I don't need the money from this. But I just feel that if I do it this way, it allows for a larger audience to participate to me. And I think that I have so much information and so many answers to give people who are looking for them, that this is going to be my best avenue to go moving forward. But again, this show is going to continue on just like it is until the end of February, and then I'll probably take a month off. And after I get back from my whirlwind travels, and then I will post ahead of time to let you know when the return is. I'm looking up to see who my next guest is, so that's kind of where I'm hesitating for. Um, oh, thank you, Rosie. She said, "Yep, you never know unless you try." Kim says, "I think that's amazing, Tom." Thank you very much, Kim. Margaret's asking, "I don't know if you can tell medical issues, but I'm having crazy allergic reactions for a while." Jesus, here we go. Um, this is what happens. We're literally about to witness this happen right now. Your allergy is actually coming from something that you've come in new with contact with. I know you're going through your head right now and you're like, I haven't changed detergents. I haven't changed my deodorant. I haven't changed my shampoo. I haven't changed anything at all, but there is. There is something that is now around you that you have either bought and brought into the house, or or there is something that was given to you. There is something um, that is setting you off. The only reason I think it's something that was purchased is because it's not while you're just at your house. It's not while you're just at one location. It happens. You have these allergy attacks all over the place now. So that's why I think it's something you're wearing or something you're carrying or something that's new to you. Is your cat new to you? That's an interesting question. Is your cat new to you? Because that would answer what's going on in my head about being everywhere, because you would have the cat dander and everything else all over you. I'm just waiting for Margaret to give me an answer, because she said, "Is it my cat?" So I'm just waiting to see if she says the cat's new. And Nikki says, "Oh, is it one of your antique things you have currently brought in?" So that's a possibility too. Margaret says 1.5 years. The only way that the cat would be affecting you now is if something is going on different with the cat. I think if your cat is going through any medical issues at all or anything else right now, then yes, your cat's dander can change, and that could be setting you off. If there's been a change to your cat in some way, like I said, medically, something seems to be different with your cat, then yes, your cat can actually have a change and it can set you off. And that would explain why it's kind of all over the place with you. I just feel like it's like clothing or something in your clothes or something someone gave you or something. I don't know. It just feels like it's that type of thing. But yeah, it's not your normal routine. Your normal routine is your normal routine. You are a creature of habit. So you won't go outside of that. I don't want to say the comfort zone, but you know what's good. You know what's you know what works for you. So you're not going to go outside of that little window there that you're in. And I said, the reason I said, "Oh, here we go again," I don't do medical readings normally. But this is how I learn I have abilities. If you ask me something like this, like you literally ask this question, I don't know. Oops, sorry, not that one. This one. And thank you, Primal, for that, by the way. This one, I don't know if you can tell medical issues. When I read that, an answer came in and said, "Yep, let's go ahead and help this one out." So this is literally how I learn I have abilities. People ask a question. If I've never done it before, if I get a yes, I have that ability. If it's quiet, I don't. I read dogs. A dog that passed, a creature that, I read a dog that passed, and I've never done animals before. But someone asked, "Hey, I'm having a problem with my dog. Can you help?" And I said, "Sure." You had a dog that passed away, and this is what your dog looked like. This is your dog's name, and it still walks through your kitchen, and your dog is picking up the nails, walking on the floor, and it can see your dog, but that's why it's not coming in to feed. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're right." But I did not know I could help animals in that way until she asked. But as soon as she said, "Can you?" I heard a yes, like a resounding yes, just like I did for Margaret. I don't know if I'm helping, but that is something that I apparently now have the ability to do. I am not a doctor, so I will not give straight medical advice, but something like this to help kind of sort out what it is. I think it's something like that. Uilani Ku'ule. See, there she is, also known as Mary Uilani to other people, but Uilani Ku'ule. Hello, young lady. How are you? Your name has actually been said numerous times in my office recently. Just this, like last week and today, your name has come up a handful of times. And the reason why it has come up is because I have your name written on a little whiteboard. Um, because I was talking something about the show, and someone said you have someone on your show that has a name that what? And I went, oh, Uilani Ku'ule. And they're like, what is that? So I wrote it out. Surprisingly enough, I spelled it right, but I wrote it out. And so it's on the whiteboard. And I'm like, can you pronounce this? And everyone's like, no. And they're like, how can you pronounce it? I'm like, because they told me the secret. Pronounce every vowel. And that will normally get you through most of the correct words is by pronouncing all of the vowels that are written inside of a word. And that's what I've remembered ever since. But so that's why your name came up. So yeah. Yeah, see, Kathy didn't even try. She just said hi, Mary. So that's fantastic. You're a little late. We've been going for an hour and 11 minutes now. I will open it up one more time if anyone else has any other questions. Margaret, I don't know if I helped you at all or not. I see you say every day is something different. Woke up with my ear swollen shut. But yes, you are a creature of habit. Yeah, I knew that. I can tell. That's funny because she writes on that's the same thing that her whiteboard has on it my name. So see, great minds think alike. And I just tell people, hey, and I've actually taken to like bribes or like rewards. People who have heard me say your name, some of them still can't say your name. Most of them still can't say your name. But if I have someone new walk in, I'm like, hey, can you pronounce this name? Buy a soda. And it's funny watching people go, uli, ulani. I got nothing. And I'm like, yeah, I thought so. So I should flip that back and say, if you can't pronounce it, you owe me a soda. Man, I'd have a lot of sodas. But yes, so I use your name now as a fun little game in the office for people who come in, kind of like an icebreaker. First off, they want to know what is an Uilani Ku'ule. Because they don't know that that's an actual person's name. And she says, you say the name perfect. That's so funny. Thank you. And then Rosie says, as we are all practicing saying her name. Yes. Uilani Ku'ule. Uilani Ku'ule. So, but yes, the first couple of times I did not tell who you were. They were like, what is an Uilani Ku'ule? And I'm like, that's a person. Very fantastic, wonderful woman over in Hawaii. So yes. But like I said, I will. Oops. There you go, John. John says I did what you said, and now I can pronounce her name. Right? It's amazing when you do it that way. It's fantastic. No, and Uilani wrote, at least I'm not in trouble. Usually my name on someone's board, it's usually I'm in trouble. Nope, not this time. I use you as an icebreaker for like when the students come over to the office and they have to get some training or whatever else, and they see the board and they're like, what is that? I'm like, pronounce it. You pronounce it, you get a soda. Yeah, that. I have not lost much money at all. I don't know if anyone's ever pronounced it correctly. At least that I've worked with. But okay, so again, I'm going to open it up one last time for any other questions. We've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes, which I am not complaining. If you want to go more, we'll go more. But I just need to have questions asked that I can try to answer because you kind of already know everything that's going to happen over the next couple of months with me, and where things are going. And I didn't tell you who was coming up next, did I? See, squirrel. Let me see if I can find out who's next on the schedule. Oh my goodness, this one's going to be so much fun. My next show is Brittany Bickett and Larry Eisler. Larry was on my show before. He was the one that is a cameraman and a lot of other things for from Ashes to Echoes Paranormal. If you are not following From Ashes to Echoes, please go follow From Ashes to Echoes. They are going to be huge. They are going to be fantastic. So they're going to be on my show on the 16th. That's my next show is on the 16th. Oh my goodness. That is Oh my goodness. We have our own little private chat called Tom's Chaos Corner. Um and they're dumb enough to stay friends with me after everything I've said to them. So that's their fault. So it's going to be a blast when they come on. Don't know how much seriousness, if any, is going to be talked about. I'm going to try to get some stuff out of them that they're kind of keeping hush hush. From Ashes to Echoes, I'm so happy to hear. Found out that they have their new swag out. So they have the new merch out, and I've been begging for them to put stuff out. And Larry said it was in the works. They finally have it out. Brittany hit me up with it, saying, "Hey, our merch is finally out, so I'm not going to go buy stuff from Ashes to Echoes." Or, if we were real friends, they just go ahead and send me stuff because I would wear it and advertise it, like I did Urban Investigator for Vince Kelly the other day. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there in case they happen to watch later on down the road. I'm saying this out loud. Primal. She asked, "Tom, are you hearing the new Earth song? My son has been singing it back to her at night." I am hearing it. It's how do I say it? It's more, wow, that's not even correct. I mean, I can't tell you how the new Earth song sounds. To me, it's more flow, and it's more melodical. It's not this. There's much more to it than what the old Earth song was. The old Earth song to me was. Oh, I gotta say, hold on. I gotta say goodnight to Rosie. Night, Rosie. Have a great time at work. Um, the last one to me didn't flow as different. It didn't have the highs and lows that this one does. It was more, I don't want to say monotone, but it had a flow that was more pure, where this one has more of an up and down kind of range. And not bad. I like it a lot. Um, I'm kind of, I'm talking about it, so I'm literally feeling it in me right now. Um, it doesn't surprise me your son sings this back. But yeah, I definitely feel it. To me, I think it's helping me make some of the changes I've decided to make changes to. I think I'm tapping into it better and more. So I think that's what's happening with me. But yes, I am hearing it. Let's see. Okay, so Rosie had to go. She's actually working night. She stopped in during her lunch break, so I'm really happy she had a chance to stop in. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. We're about an hour and 20 minutes, but I want to thank everybody for coming on, as I always do. If you are listening and not watching, I do my best to make sure that you can hear and understand everything that's going on, which is why you hear me read all the comments. For those people who are watching, it's not because I need to hear it myself. It's simply because I know there's a lot of people who do not watch the show, but they hear it when they're at work or while they're working around the house or doing something, and they need to hear what's happening rather than just see it. So that's why I read everything back. But with that said, if you want to find a way to reach out to me, you can find me at Facebook, facebook.com/Stuff I Never Learned. I am on YouTube at youtube.com/@Stuff I Never Learned. That's all one word, Stuff I Never Learned. And on Gmail, it is stuffineverlearned@gmail.com. And that's the best way to get a hold of me. Again, I'm not going anywhere until I take that little break at the end of February. But even then, I'll still be on chat and I'll still be able to be found and everything else. And then I'll be back. I'm just changing things up to where this is what I'm doing more or less. So Uilani Ku'ule, thank you very much. Mahalo. Much love. Thank you. Good night to everybody that's saying good night. I appreciate it. Stay safe. Much love. Reach out if you have questions. I will do my best to answer everything I can, just as I do here. I really only have 2 more shows left until I make the switch over to just doing me in April. So, but stay safe. Much love. Stay warm. Reach out if you need anything. I'll do whatever I can to help mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I'll send energy. I'll push love. I'll do whatever I can to help get you through whatever you're going through. That's what I'm here for, folks. So other than that, I will talk to you all soon.